Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Late Night News. I'm Ross Macdonald from Gokhshtein Media. With us, as usual, David Gokhshtein.
What's going on, guys?
How's it going?
Should I go ahead and can I say it?
Say it.
Presented by Gokhshtein Media and powered by Unstoppable Domains.
Exactly. Thank you so much for the introduction. Unstoppable Domains, where you can get your NFT domain, and you can go to the Gokhshtein Media Twitter page through Linktree and have a referral there where you can get through to Unstoppable Domains, and you can read an article that we have as well on our website, which explains exactly what it is. What is an NFT domain? So the news today. Let's jump into the news. How was the news this morning on the breakdown, David?
It was good. We had a lot of fun. Shout outs to Keel. Shout outs to everybody who tuned in on Twitter Spaces and also on YouTube Live. We appreciated episode 56 with some good conversations about Michael Saylor, him taking out some or selling off some stocks and putting $500 million into Bitcoin potentially. There was other things. It was really about mostly Ethereum. The Ethereum
Mm-hmm.
merge. People are excited about it. That's all that you're hearing, and that's all that you're
Mm-hmm.
really reading. You have a lot of mainstream media magazines that aren't even in the crypto reporting game that are reporting about the Ethereum merge. So, yeah, one reported. I think it was Bloomberg, though Bloomberg is kind of in the game. Bloomberg.com reported about uh, reported stating that the Ethereum merge will be epic and it will change the industry forever.
Wow.
Which it surprised me because I've never heard them say any crap like that in my life. So it was either
That
them or I forgot the magazine's name. Definitely one of the two, but it's definitely a mainstream media publication, and that to me says a lot. When a publication like that states and makes that kind of headline.
so you've got mainstream media talking about it, and meanwhile you've got a lot of people who call it urethrium because they don't know what it is.
I hear that a lot in spaces. People just mispronouncing it. Even if you correct them, they can't get it right. I think that's one of the biggest problems with Ethereum is the name, because a lot of people just do not know how to pronounce it. It takes them about 2 years in order to finally get it down pat.
I love it. I love it. That's great. Well, let's jump into the news. We saw today an announcement from Starbucks and Polygon. It says Starbucks unveils Starbucks Odyssey. It's a program that they're running, which is a long-term project. It's going to obviously tie into crypto and NFTs, and you can sign up for the waitlist starting today, where you'll get information. It'll launch later this year. What do you think about that, David?
Listen, anybody who actually goes to Starbucks for coffee, kind of suspect, but I mean, I think it's really cool for Starbucks to jump into the game. Listen, they have a huge clientele. People go to Starbucks all the time. I think this will actually be a hit for Starbucks and for Polygon. Polygon is just signing with everybody. We'll have to
Yeah.
call my grandmother and ask her if Polygon has signed her to a contract as well or a partnership.
Well, they're signing up. There's going to be collectibles, so sounds like it might be like NFTs and sort of a POAP type thing on Polygon, which is cool because then they'll find out who their super fans are, and they will build their Web3 community because all these big brands do not have sub communities built into Web3.
For sure. I agree with that. Listen, good luck to them. It's good for us. It's good for our space. The more people, Starbucks again, hell of a user base. If we
Yeah.
can get 1% of them to come into this crypto space, into our industry, it's an amazing one.
What do you think about loyalty programs that are on chain unnecessarily?
The unnecessary.
Like there are some times where it's like, well, why are you putting that on chain? Because there's no need to. They're just doing it because they think blockchain's cool, or they're going after a demographic maybe.
Correct. Uh, I don't know if it's necessary, honestly.
Yeah,
I really don't know if it's necessary, but time will
like
tell.
like they have a loyalty program on their own app. They have everything, but this could get integrated to the app, which would be cool.
It can be, but then okay. So what do you get out of it? Like you have to get something out of it.
If I get a
Like what do you
ceramic
really
cup
get?
out of it, I'm in.
You say that again. If you get a latte, did
I
you
get
just
a
say a latte?
I get a free ceramic cup out of it, I'm in.
I mean, I would, for me, when I think of these kind of programs, there has to be more because you can already offer it.
Yeah,
You can already offer it without a blockchain. So, like,
you could.
what's my incentive is really what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Like, if you go build it on the block on chain, like, what's the incentive? It has to be more than a coffee cup here.
So in their own app and program now, you do have different levels of customers. So if you buy X amount of coffee, and instead of just paying for it, you preload the app and you pay for it, and they're qualifying who is loyal and they're rewarding those people. So I would assume they will do the same thing here, because there are people who wear they're like, I'm a Starbucks Gold member. I'm not. Like, I hardly ever go to Starbucks. And
You
they're like,
don't?
they hardly ever. No, I had a pumpkin spice latte the other day. That was good.
Me too. I always have it.
Yeah, right. Fake news. And uh they're like, oh, I'm a gold member. I'm a gold member. Do you know I'm a gold member? I'm Starbucks Gold member. And they just, like, they tell everybody, and they wear it on their sleeve, and it's part of their identity, kind of like people do with their NFTs, right? It's just a part of culture.
Yeah. Um, I still, honestly, to me, the only thing I care about with this thing is the database of clients that Starbucks has.
Yeah.
If you can just get one, and I know I'm being repetitive, but if you just get 1%, if you just get 1% of that database that they have, you win. Like, this entire industry wins.
Absolutely. Yeah. On to the next news. Abra announces two new things: Abra Bank and Abra Boost, two new programs that they're going to be launching. It's going to act like a bank. It's going to have all kinds of different features built into it. Abra Boost, it says, is international. So when these things launch, it says that they're just going to be able to earn, including individual or institutional investors with these things. So new financial tools built with Web3, but this is what we're hearing now, is some of these companies want to become banks. We hear that about Meta. These are things that 5 years ago maybe we wouldn't have expected. Now we hear it, and now everybody's jumping on this.
It's the trends. Trends always win.
But you got to be big enough to do this. You cannot be, a small cryptocurrency or a small, crypto lending platform. Like if you're doing this, the amount of licensing that you have is massive in costs, unless you
But
do some sort of partnership with someone who has those licenses.
but you have to look at it from a long-term perspective and not short-term. Long
Mm-hmm.
term, they win because they're first to market. I'm not saying they're first to
Mm-hmm.
market, but they're one of the first to market, right? So
Mm-hmm.
when regulation, which I'm in love with, once that kicks in and there's more clarity with regulations, because regulations are useless if there's no clarity, because we have regulations with no clarity right now.
Mm-hmm.
Once that kicks in, well, look, they have everything set up. Now they can expand. And if you now want to jump into the game, well, you're too late already. And to even get up to their level or get close to their level, you'll have to pour in tons of money. So,
Yeah.
no matter how big or small they are, good for them that they're doing this and taking a chance on themselves and betting. Also, they might know something that we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
What if regulations and more clarity are coming within the next 6 to 12 months?
Mm-hmm. What do you think the odds are that this is 100% custodial service? Do you think any of this will be non-custodial and allow interest to be earned?
I don't know.
I think this will be 100% custodial. And the way I look at that, and you look at the companies who have been in financial trouble, Chapter 11, I say, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me. Sorry, how does that work? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame
No,
on me.
fool
Right?
me twice. The bed bugs bite or something. Is that it?
No.
Listen, if you're stupid enough to go ahead and go into any of these banks, you deserve to lose your money. I said it. Like, I don't really care. Like,
Well,
have
well,
you not heard of Celsius?
the whole premise of this is to give your money or your crypto to them, and you earn interest. And it's
Yeah.
like
You remember unbank yourself?
there's a risk.
No, but you remember unbank? Who said unbank yourself? Celsius went ahead and said unbank yourself.
Really?
Right? So, like, if their slogan was unbank yourself, and you can look it up to see if I'm right or wrong. But if they said unbank yourself, can you imagine? Holy shit, I'd rather be in a bank.
Yeah.
At this point in time, I'd rather have my funds and assets in a bank.
That's
How did
crazy.
that work out?
That is crazy. Well, we'll see how it goes when it's launched. I'm sure that this will more than likely, to me, be a place where institutions will work with them as opposed to the general public. That's my perception, but I could be wrong.
I'm sure you'll have people, retail buyers, especially some from Celsius, that will be interested in this,
Yeah.
and they will go and put their assets in there and give it another try. This is just stupidity repeats itself constantly.
I can't stand that. That's wild. Next in the news, Mike Novogratz was quoted to saying that Fidelity may be letting retail customers buy Bitcoin, and this would be the most bullish thing possible, as he said. So the question is whether this is something that he knows about or he is inferring, Fidelity perceptions on Fidelity, and if this occurs.
I mean, anybody holding a bag is happy.
Mm-hmm.
Like they'll be, oh my god, my bags are gonna go up. Fidelity's coming in. See, like I think we've lost. I have to elaborate a little bit because Wednesday my podcast is going to come out, and we talked about regulation and what regulation means to me, right? And for me, regulation, I know it's coming. I know regulation's coming. There's no way to stop it. But these regulations protect the 1%, and that being companies like Fidelity, like Citadel, like BlackRock. They don't protect the regular retail, investor. They don't even help the regular retail investor. So, am I happy that regulations are coming in? No, but they're coming, and I just hope that they are more geared towards helping us retail buyers get in as much as they help and protect the 1%. Because how's that working out in the stock market? It's always the 1% that benefits. So Fidelity coming in, it's great for anybody holding bags and not caring about this industry. It really just sucks that we lost that mentality of like, get away from institutions, let's get away from the banks, and let's build something. And now, as soon as like Fidelity is now, Novogratz is mentioning Fidelity might come in here. Everybody like forgets about that mentality and why this was started in the first place, and says, "Here's the keys. Here you go, guys. Come on in. Let's go. Pump my backs, because money is the root of all evil, right?"
Remember when PayPal started to work with Bitcoin? You could trade it, but you couldn't export it, so it was off chain.
Yeah.
Now, I think we should start a trend for a hashtag. Is it on chain? So if someone's like, yeah, about Bitcoin, but is it on chain? If it's not on chain, you don't have it. Right?
I don't think people realize the amount of derivatives that are going to be made once all these institutions plant themselves in.
There is going to be 500 million Bitcoin available for purchase with derivatives.
But explain that, because some people are not going to understand. Some people will be like, "What is he saying? There's only 21 million cap. Like, there's can never be more than 21 million Bitcoins ever created." And
you can the banking institutions and the federal regulators per country could create regulation or piggyback off of fractional reserve banking and say, okay, for every Bitcoin that you own, you can sell 10 of them, and it's off chain. You're just trading against the value. So if that were the case, then You could times, 21 million times 10, or is it times 100, or how does it work? What's the limit?
They'll
That's
bring
going to
out
be,
all the products, man. You're gonna think that you own Bitcoin and you don't.
or you're buying Bitcoin and then it's also that same Bitcoin is in an index, and then the laws don't apply and it's split off and fractionalized, and it's just, yeah, this is where it's heading, unfortunately. So
Unfortunately, so that's why I'm against it. I'm not happy.
I
If you're,
am too.
if you're looking for your bags to pump, like honestly, if you're looking for your bags to pump, if you're looking for your ETH and your Bitcoin bags to get a rise, you're looking for all-time highs, then you're happy. But it's a short-term thing. I mean,
Yeah,
at the end of the day, them coming in here is not a benefit. But you
no.
can't stop them from coming in either. But it's just my whole thing, Ross, is I want to see everybody get in. The guy and the gal that deserve to get in first, that never had an opportunity, I want them to get in before the 1% come, clawing their way into this space.
Yeah. Well, imagine, in the past they say, stack Bitcoin, hodl Bitcoin. It's a safe play. I hope it doesn't get diluted by this type of thing where that mentality changes. I hope that doesn't change.
I hope it doesn't either.
Yeah.
But listen, I'm seeing more Bitcoin maxis become open-minded to this entire space than I've seen in the last 2 years. There are people, big name people within the Bitcoin community that are finally opening up and saying like this narrative, it has to
Mhm.
go,
Has
and
that
it's a pleasure. It's a breath of fresh air to hear that.
Have you noticed that accelerate in the last 6 months or 3 months at all?
No, this has been like in the span of a month that
A
I've
month.
seen. I've seen more in because I'm always on social media. I'm always chatting with everybody, and I'm reading, and I'm seeing Nick Carter, Dan Held, uh, Matt, who's been a Bitcoin dev on Core
Mm-hmm.
for 10 plus years. They're coming out and they're saying like this is not it. This is going to like literally make people go away from Bitcoin.
That's
Like
crazy.
you have big names coming out there that used to be like if you name them out 6 months ago or 12 months ago, they would tell you like everything else is complete shit. And
Mm-hmm.
these are now the names that are coming out there and saying like, guys, like this is too much. Like, you guys,
Wow.
this is too much. Like this, your narrative does not represent Bitcoin.
Right. That's crazy. Well, next in the news, Huobi exchange has delisted some privacy coins. 7 privacy coins have been delisted based on latest financial regulations. And this includes Dash, Decred, Firo, Monero, Verge, Zcash, and Horizon. So they have been pushed to the wall by regulators, and these are now gone. They feel like there's too much liability to keep them on the exchange, or they're not allowed, or they would lose some sort of licensing. It's gone. Privacy coins, haven't heard much about them in the past year, but these are all names that we've heard before.
I think that privacy coins are going to make a comeback because I never, you know what? I always thought that there was a place for privacy coins,
Mm-hmm.
but with the recent news about Tornado Cash,
Yeah.
to see how many people were so vocal about everything that happened and surrounded it, I was like, yo, privacy coins might make a comeback now. Especially
Yeah.
like Monero. Like the first one that you talk about is Monero, right? It comes to the head. Like right away. It's
Definitely,
like,
I would say Dash or Monero are the biggest there, then Verge and Zcash. Yeah.
so like you're gonna have people that are going to jump in. They'll find a way. Listen, okay, got delisted here, but like they'll find a way to get it. It's the same thing with Bitcoin. Like think back to when Bitcoin came out. How many exchanges were there?
Not many.
Like we're making it like okay, fine. This one, somebody's going to keep it on, and
Mm-hmm.
people will get it. People will find a way to get it. I look. I think privacy coins have a place within this industry. Look, if you're doing something, if you're most people aren't doing something illegal. Most people are just trying to keep it private because they don't want. It's like, do you want everybody to know what's in your bank account? No. Like,
No.
people don't want people to know how much they have in their bank account. So I can understand people wanting privacy. It's okay having privacy. But like,
Yeah.
for those that are doing illegal activities, I can
Hmm.
care less about them.
People assume that privacy coins are for illegal activities, and that's a foolish assumption.
It's not. It's not. A lot of people, I'm telling you, want to keep, like, nobody wants anybody to, like, you imagine you have $4 million and people know that you have $4 million, you're automatically, you're a target.
Oh, you're pooched. You're cooked, man. Everyone's coming
So,
at
like,
you for a handout.
yeah, exactly. So, like, people, I think, privacy is should be allowed. And that has to, and I'll say one thing, like, moving forward in this space, that should be that should be worked on, because nobody's going to come in here from the centralized world and be like, okay, great, I'm going to open up a wallet, put my assets in there, and somebody's going to find out my address and they'll see everything I have, making me an open target. Like, nobody's going to do that.
No.
Nobody's going to do that.
No.
And it's going to be, we'll have a hard time pushing adoption if we don't get creative. Again, I'm not talking about hiding things from the IRS. No, pay the taxes, pay whatever you need to go ahead and pay. But just like a bank account, it should be private. It should be private. I know, like, the tellers can see what you have in your bank account, but I'm saying, besides the employees that work there that have signed documents to go ahead and protect your privacy, you should have the same privilege here. And I know that people are going to give me shit for this, but it's true. You should have the same privilege.
It's not even optional. It's not even a choice at this point. So that's an interesting discussion for sure.
And people will say that it's not, I know we got to go, but I know people will say that, look, this is how it is. It's transparency. I'm all for transparency. I don't think anybody's not for transparency, but privacy, like, I think we forget about this. Like, if you're going to be anonymous, right? Can't you? You're allowed to be anonymous, but you can't have privacy. Which, like, it's an oxymoron, right?
Yeah, it's crazy. We will see what happens. We'll see what exchanges. You can go on to CoinMarketCap or CoinGecko and look at these tokens, and you can see what exchanges they are still on. It'll be interesting to follow and see how this news affects their pricing, or how they handle the PR coverage of their own tokens from those projects.
For sure.
Yeah. That's it for the news tonight. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. And
powered by Gokhshtein Media and sponsored by Unstoppable Domains. Go check them out on our website. Grab yourself one. That's not domain advice, right? I have to say that.
That's not domain advice.
Right? But, like, you should. Listen.
It's very interesting to learn about NFT domains, to purchase one and to mint it and have that locked up and controlled within your own crypto wallet that you own the private keys to. It's a very cool experience.
For sure. So check it out. The link is on gokhshteinmedia.com. Check us out tomorrow on the Breakdown, episode 57. Me and Akil will go ahead and break down the latest stories in the world of crypto and Web3 and outside of it. And check out all of our Twitter Spaces hosts. Also, this man over here is coming out with a podcast on Friday. Shout out to Ross. Podcast comes out. When are you going to come out with that graphic, letting the people know?
We'll come up with that one on Wednesday. And
Wednesday?
We'll share that.
And on Wednesdays, you have Gokhshtein Unfiltered, and I'll have Scott Melker on as we talk about Bitcoin, Ethereum, and some other stuff, within this industry and outside of it. So looking forward to that at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Nice. The breakdown's at 9:30 Eastern tomorrow morning on Twitter at Gokhshtein Media. See everybody there. Have a great night.